The views and opinions expressed by the host do not state or reflect those of the company and its management. Furthermore, the views, opinions, and insinuations made by the host, guests, do not reflect those of the show, the management, and the network. Magandang gabi, Pilipinas. Welcome to the PH Insider, the program that cuts through noise, emotion, and political spin and goes straight to the legal heart of the nation's most pressing issues. Tonight, we dig deeper into stories shaping public discourse and testing the limits of our laws. Beyond headlines and hot takes, we ask the questions that matter. What does the law actually say? How do these actions measure against our Constitution, our institutions, and our rights as citizens? Here, every angle is examined, every claim is challenged, and every controversy is placed under the lens of facts, jurisprudence, and accountability. Join us as we separate what is legal, what is questionable, and what the public deserves to know. Ako po si Ox Baliano, and this is the PH Insider on TV, where issues are not just reported, they are cross-examined. Narito na ang mga pinakamalaking balita ng linggo. Mga kaganapang pinag-usapan at naging bahagi na ng ating kasaysayan. Kung saan tayo sasamaan ng dalawa sa iginagalang na abogado ng bayan para magbigay ng kuro-kuro sa loob ng tig-isang minuto.
Ako po si Atty. Risandro Unay. Magandang gabi sa ating mga kababayan sa buong mundo.
Kabalyero.
Magandang gabi po. Ako po si Atty. Eugene Riego.
Tampok sa mga balitang ating hihimayin. Executive Secretary Bersamin, DBM Secretary Pangandaman, out sa gabinete. Recto, bagong little president. Nagbitiw sa kanilang posisyon sina Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin at Budget Secretary Amena Pangandaman. Inihayag ito ni Palace Press Officer Undersecretary Claire Castro sa pulong balitaan nitong nagdaang Lunes. Papalit bilang Executive Secretary na tinatawag ding Little President si Ralph Recto na kasalukuyang kalihim ng Finance Department. Magiging officer in charge naman ng DBM si Budget Undersecretary Rolando U. Toledo. Umugong nitong linggo na aalisin sa pwesto si Bersamin at papalitan siya direkto. Si Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs, Frederick Go, ang papalit kay Recto sa Department of Finance. Ayon kay Castro, kusang nagbitiw sina Bersamin at Pangandaman dahil sa delikadeza matapos babanggit ang mga pangalan nila sa umano'y anomalya sa paggamit ng pondo sa flood control projects. Kasama ring nagbitiw si Adrian Carlos Bersamin na pinuno ng Presidential Legislative Liaison Office o PLLO, ang tanggapan na nakikipag-ugnayan sa Kamara de Representantes at Senado. Kamag-anak na nakatatandang Bersamin si Adrian na idinawit din ni Zaldy sa manumalyang budget insertions. Tiniyak naman ni Castro na tuloy-tuloy ang operasyon ng lahat ng ahensya ng pamahalaan at mananatiling nakatuon sa maayos na pamamahala at serbisyo sa publiko. And now let's break down what really matters, talking about legal and constitutional angle. Do these resignations imply administrative accountability, or do they fall under graceful exits to avoid deeper investigations?
Ang mahirap kasi dito, pinasinungalingan ni Secretary Lucas Bersamin, yung pahayag ni Undersecretary Claire Castro na siya ay nag-resign out of delicadeza. Ang pangyayaring ito ay mukhang hindi maganda dahil parang inunahan pa si Secretary Lucas Bersamin sa kanyang dapat gawin na mag-resign. Ngayon, ang implication nito ay para tuloy, hindi ito graceful exit. Parang perception ng mga tao, ang tinitingnan ay parang damage control, more about damage control ito. Because Secretary Lucas Bersamin said himself na he was told to go.
So, and he did not actually resign.
Yes.
Well, legally speaking, yeah, it is. the continuance ng service ng Executive Secretary at saka yung Budget Secretary is always at the pleasure of the President. So, politically, this shows na meron talagang, kasi napakalaking figure o napakalaking opisina yung Executive Secretary at saka yung Budget Secretary. So, this shows, politically, this shows internal disruption sa administration ng government ni President Marcos.
All right, Cubs. Okay, let's talk about now the impact constitutionally, or the constitutional impact of these two higher-ranking officials who just resigned simultaneously. Does this necessarily disrupt the continuity in government?
Wala namang constitutional impact dyan because the power to hire and fire ay nasa executive department naman talaga. Inhearing upon the power of the president. So wala tayong nakikita. Kaya nga bigla silang pinalitan. And tama si Caballero, yung talagang they are just there at the pleasure of the president. Especially that their office that they are holding is of trust and confidential in nature.
But does this necessarily mean that, or does this disrupt continuance in governance?
Based on our history sa government, yung mga ganyang resignation, based din sa narration ni Cab sa Sandro, premeditated yan. So, before nilang gawin yan, meron na silang preparation for that. And almost always, the government parating may alternative just in case merong isang secretary or executive secretary na mag-resign. The assistant can take over. So, walang disruption na mangyayari.
Ito bang mga sunod-sunod na mga pangyayari like itong sequence of events nga? Does this necessarily signal possible violations in terms of administrative due process? Or is this within executive prerogative? Or the president's prerogative?
Executive prerogative talaga yan. Strictly under the executive department, under the power of the president. Wala tayong magagawa dyan. Yan talaga yan.
Legally, walang legal administrative liability, especially yung president. Kasi almost and always yung mga secretaries is yung service nila dependent sa pleasure ng presidente.
So at the end of the day, they just have to simply obey on what the boss
nagkaroon na ng
says.
issue and traps.
Right?
Kasi mayroong mga political dynamics na nangyayari. Kasi we must understand na in politics, timing is everything. So, ano ba yung ang magandang issue rito? Ano yung timing? Bakit nangyari itong resignation na to? So,
Precisely, it's because of the impact ng video statements na ginawa ni Zaldico. Kaya nagkaganyan. Because Zaldico was implicating these people in his video statement that they have something to do with this flood control scam. Kaya nagkaganyan yan.
Okay, with all these resignations happening nowadays, no, I mean, very recently, there were several who just resigned. Can the Congress necessarily or legally initiate inquiries to the circumstances surrounding those resignations or the resignations?
well, the thing is, meron kasing parliamentary courtesy. Usually, example, two branches of government. For example, yung executive, saka yung legislative. Usually, hindi nila gagawin yan eh. Pwede nilang gawin yan during sa mga budget hearing or in the Congress performing their oversight function. So, legally, kasi pwede nilang gawin or to ask yung mga nag-resign ng mga secretaries to appear before them and to inquire on that for the purpose, yung very well-known na for legislative inquiry for purpose of legislation. Napaka-broad kasi noon. Pero politically, I don't think they will do that. Especially itong Congress is tingin ko allied with the present executive department.
In relation doon sa flood control scam of which these officials have been implicated, well, they can. But as regards the resignation, well, they cannot contest that. It is an executive prerogative.
All right. Okay, let's now touch on matters pertaining to political accountability and public trust. Pag-usapan natin ito. How should the public interpret these resignations? Acts of delicadeza or damage control to contain a larger controversy? Ito ba
As I said, doon nagkaroon ng problema ng sinabi ni Secretary Lucas Bersamin na he was told to go. So, it appears to the public, at least to me, na ito ay more of a damage control as an impact doon sa pinagsasabi ni Zaldy ko, implicating these officials. Kumbaga, dumating na sa punto na knocking on the heaven's door na eh. Si Secretary Pangandaman, si Yusek Adrian Lucas Bersamin na related kay Executive
Grandnephew,
Secretary.
I think.
Grandnephew, yeah. So malapit na doon sa Malacanang. Masyado nang nasa Malacanang yung mga allegations. Well, in fact, sinabi na nga ni Zaldy ko mismo na through these people, through Pangandaman and through Adrian Bersamin, the President instructed him to insert the 100 billion flood scam, the budget for this flood control scam.
To me, it appears now that the damage attempt for a damage control seems to be very troublesome because of the conflict of statements, from Undersecretary Claire Castro. Sinasabi niya nag-resign
Out of delicadeza.
and out of delicadeza, yet we eventually found out, or even confirmed with the former executive secretary, that he did not resign.
Yeah. Politically, Cubs, it will impact the present administration because the resignation could be an indication na mayroong internal problem sa administration ng presidente. But likewise, it could be taken positively na it means na ang gobyerno at ang presidente is addressing problems within his administration by initiating the resignation of the two cabinet secretaries.
With all these resignations, caballeros, what do you think are the signals sent to the current political stability of our administration?
Well, it would depend on which side of the fence you are, di ba? So far dito sa administration, they are saying that we are stable. Nagkaroon lang ng change of anong tawag dito, yung revamp
yes.
But
ng
then again,
gabinete,
hindi rin
ilang
natin
miyembro.
ma-discount yung pagdududa na ito ay dahil doon sa impact ng sinabi ni Zaldy ko na these particular people have instructed him to do such and such a thing in order to do this insertion during the bicameral committee.
Do these resignations indicate cracks in the decision-making structure within Malacanang?
Yes. As I said a while ago, Cubs, this signal internal problem within the administration. Now, a good question, Cubs, is ano yung magiging impact nito sa public? Well, it depends kung ano yung magiging ano yung ni-expect ng public on this, which is una, sino yung papalit dun sa dalawa? Pangalawa, magkakaroon ba ng disruption dun sa budget allocations? Kasi this pertains to budget department eh. And yung budget allocations, napaka-importante kasi this is very much related sa political control ng government. And likewise, papasok dyan yung sa expectation ng public is ano yung effect nito dun sa magkakaroon ba sa investigation ng Senate. Especially, papatawag ba yung mga magkakaroon ba ng whistleblower, magkakaroon ba ng additional documents na mapipresent during the Senate investigation? Kasi wala na, involved yung dalawang, there was an allegation na involvement ng dalawang secretaries. So, since wala na sila doon, so magkakaroon ng ease down nung mga release ng documents, investigation, at saka probably baka magkaroon ng mga whistleblowers kung sakali.
Now, in the bigger picture, do these events indicate a government under strain or a government attempting to reset or clean house?
Mukhang they are trying to attempt that, to reset or to clean the house in order for them to go the whole 9 yards na matapos itong administration. But then that's very good. Kaya lang ang implication nitong nangyari na pinag-resign, allegedly itong dalawang importanteng vanguard ng door sa Malacanang, is more of sila yata ang mukhang gawing fall guy din. Why? Kasi may mga narrative na ginamit lang ng mga empleyado yung pangalan ni Presidente, kesyo ganito ganyan. Because one thing is, Zaldy in his narrative in the video, failed to actually attach the President directly to his testimony. Tumigil siya doon kay Pangandaman at kay Adrian at saka doon sa leather bag, brown leather bag, na galing daw kay Presidente yung instruction. But then, he was not able to say that the President himself instructed him to do so. So yun lang ang connect doon. Unless these people, Adrian Bersamin and Pangandaman, directly testifies that indeed the President told them,
Instructed them.
to inform Zaldico of his instructions, then, only then, do we have the full circle of the investigation and would implicate directly the President into this as a master architect of this flood control scam.
All right, you want to add something?
Yung sa question mo, Cabs, yes, it is it's like pressing the reset button. Okay, politically it means that the president is addressing the issues at hand by addressing the scandal that happened, the narratives, the allegations, by resetting or changing the secretaries.
Alright, simula pa lang yan ang maiinit nating balitaktakan dahil sa ating pagbabalik as we enter the eye of a political storm shaking the foundations of government. Former Ako Bicol Representative Zaldy has stepped forward with an explosive revelation, alleging that the President and the Speaker themselves pushed for a massive budget insertions tied to the billion-peso flood control controversy. What does this mean for the ongoing Santa Blue Ribbon probe? How does it affect public trust, governance, and the very credibility of the institutions tasked to protect the nation's resources? For this is the show that uncovers the truth behind social issues and personalities in the spotlight. This is the PH Insider on TV.
Ako po si Roberto Basco na nakatira sa Tondo, Manila. At ako po ay 68 taong gulang.
Ako si Catherine L. Cabulao, 54 years old, taga Zamboanga City.
Ako po si Noreen Corpin, 54 years old.
Magpapasalamat po ako sa PCSO. Talagang maganda serbisyo ng PCSO.
Suportahan natin ang PCSO kasi alam kong may portion po doon sa itinataya ko na papunta sa charity.
Sila po libre, tapos walang pila, asikaso ka rin po nila. Ano po.
Maraming pong salamat sa mga staff ng PCSO.
Nagpapasalamat ako at mayroong PCSO.
Maraming salamat po, PCSO.
Marami pang pangalan ang matutulungan ng PCSO dahil sa patuloy ninyong pagsuporta sa Lotto at iba pang gaming products nito. At dahil ang PCSO ay hindi umuurong sa pagtulong, tayo rin. Sa bawat ticket na binili para sa PCSO Games, hatid nito ay tulong at pag-asa sa mga kababayan nating lubos na nangangailangan. Kaya naman dito sa PCSO, bawat taya may kawang gawa. Araw-araw, let's play Lotto!
Nagbabalik ang The PH Insider on TV. At kasama pa rin natin ang ating mga abogado ng bayan para magbigay linaw sa mga isyong kinakaharap ng ating bayan. Attorney, andito pa rin si Attorney Rezandro Unay. Siyempre kasama pa rin si Attorney Eugene Riego. Ako na nga magpauulit-ulit na magpapakilala sa mga kabalyero ko. Ha? At excited ito para magpakalalim sa ating mga tatalakayin ngayong araw. A political shockwave hits the nation, and former Ako Bicol Representative Zaldy has publicly claimed that the President and the Speaker pushed for billion-peso budget insertions tied to the flood control scandal. This is no small allegation. It comes from an insider who once stood at the center of the budgeting process. His revelation raises urgent questions about power, influence, and the handling of public funds. What does this mean for the Son of Blue Ribbon inquiry, for accountability, and for the integrity of our institutions? Tonight, we break down the impact of the Zaldy revelation and what it could expose about the system behind the scandal. Now, talking about the impact on the ICC investigation. Since the ICC relies on complementarity, could Zaldy revelation that the President and Speaker were involved in budget manipulation support the argument that the Philippines is unable to conduct impartial internal investigations? You wanna go first?
Yeah. Well, Cubs, itong mga narratives ni former Congressman Saldico will boil down on the issue on credibility. Well, when we speak of credibility, it means it depends on yung kanyang consistency, yung motive niya, and meron bang corroborative evidence, and number 4, yung kanyang knowledge dun sa matter. Regarding sa knowledge, meron siya kasi dati siyang chairman ng Appropriations Committee. Pero what is significant, Cubs, is ano yung motive niya in presenting this or making this narration sa social media. So, there is a reason to believe na highly suspect siya kasi it was done before na magkaroon ng intensive na rally sa Luneta. So, there's an allegation na it is meant to spark plug a demonstration or a rally.
Okay.
Well, I think may final na naman ang mga kaso ngayon sa Sandigan Bayan. So, hindi natin pa masasabi na mayroong impartial internal investigations because it will still be determined whether or not our Sandigan Bayan or our courts, internal courts here in the Philippines will be able to really conduct an impartial investigations. So far, hindi na natin kailangan ngayon si Saldico na pakiusapan na bumalik dito sa Pilipinas. When the case is already filed, his passport will be canceled, and he will be extradited back to the Philippines to answer for the allegations against him. And of course, he will be allowed to defend himself and implicate everyone that is involved in this particular flood control scandal.
And I think that's the most awaited part of this.
Excited na tayo
this
na
whole farce.
dumating siya dito sa Pilipinas.
Sige. Okay, pag-usapan naman natin itong claim on jurisdiction ng ICC. If key institutions appear compromised by the involvement of top officials, does this strengthen the ICC's jurisdictional claim?
Well, it could be, but then again, it depends on our propensity to cooperate. But then I know this administration, when it comes to that, especially if the allegations, some of the allegations implicates the president, of course, it will try its best not to cooperate para hindi madrag sa international level yung kaso na to. So, yun ang masasabi ko dyan. But then again, according to Attorney Conti, the international lawyer, na pag napatunayan itong flood control scam na is actually organized in a systemic way to commit it, it could come to the within the purview of the international court, criminal court.
Siguro naman,
Sabi na yun,
it might be something that the ICC will try to focus on aside from the issues surrounding the former
So
president.
kung
and
itong
his
mga
cohort.
issues na nire-raise ngayon ni Zaldy ko
Okay.
ay totoo na parang systemic ngayong nangyari with the cooperation of necessary cooperation of the Speaker of the House and the
Right.
instruction of the President, then according to her, it could come within the purview of the jurisdiction of the ICC.
Okay, now let's move to the purview of the Blue Ribbon Committee then.
Okay.
About its scope. Will Zaldy directly naming the president and the speaker? Is the Senate now legally and politically obligated to expand the hearings purview?
Well, Cubs, it boils down dun sa credibility ni former Congressman Zaldy ko. Kasi there are narratives, mayroong mga statements sa social media and also sa news na yung mga senators na nagsasabi na, well, highly suspect yung credibility niya. Kasi una, yung motive niya, bakit kailangan nilabas niya kung bago magkaroon ng demonstration at saka rally. Tapos suspect din yung kanyang sustainability o yung kanyang consistency. Kasi bakit ngayon lang siya nagpakita. Dapat noon pa, nung nagsisimula na yung investigation. And pangatlo, yung kanyang yung corroborative evidence niya. Kasi allegations kailangan meron pa bang mag-testify na to support yung kanyang allegations. Ang problem, hindi natin pwede pang makonsider na evidence yung kanyang allegations kasi allegations pa lang yan kailangan pag sinabi mo kasing evidence, it must go through a process. Nasa rules of court yan bago mo masabihing ebidensya. So ito, allegations pa lang ito.
Okay. Now, talking about Senate investigations, another crucial question here is being asked by the public, especially like if the investigation is involving the president. Ano yung mga constitutional limitations ng investigation ng Senado, if there's any?
Well, insofar as it is in aid of legislation, wala naman problema yan. But then, if we understand the political mechanism behind it, where the majority of the Senate or the House of Representatives is an ally of the President, medyo mahirap nang magkakaroon ng ganon. Medyo hindi yata.
Well, I think wala rin namang constitutional limitation. As a matter of fact, it is the Senate that has the capacity to impeach the president or even the vice president, di ba? So, kung sa power, meron talagang power mag-imbestiga.
In fact, they did it to VP Sara. They have attempted it already. So, there's nothing to say that the president cannot come within the purview of the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee also.
Cubs Eugene, how will let me just ask you this, how will the Senate handle a situation where a whistleblower's testimony implicates a figure who controls the majority coalition?
Well, it happened before. For example, we're speaking of the president, right? Constitutional limitation on the investigation of the president. Well, they do that. It happened before na nag-iimbestiga sila. And then, eventually, that is the process ng impeachment. Bago kasi mag-file ng impeachment against the president, nag-iimbestiga ka muna. Mag-collate ka ng mga documents na to sustain. Tapos, eventually, they will submit that sa Congress for approval and to impeach the president. So, nagkakaroon lang ng political limitation kasi, for example, the president, knowing na may nagkakandak na investigation sa kanya, he will use yung kanyang political control para malimit yun or to dismiss the allegations against him as politically motivated.
Yes,
Okay.
but then again, we must not forget that the impeachment proceeding is purely political in nature. That's why, under the circumstances, when the president controls the majority of both houses, it cannot happen.
All right. Okay. Moving forward, let's delve into the details of the chain of liability and accountability. Well, what administrative or legal consequences could arise if budget insertions were proven to be politically structured rather than legally justified?
Cubs, regarding sa if the budget insertion are justified, nagkakaroon lang ng legal problem, Cubs, kung yung budget insertions, there were anomalies regarding the budget insertions.
Yes.
Kasi
Because
the budget insertions
per se, it's not illegal.
happens regularly. Ang problema lang is kapag nagkakaroon ng mishandling ng mga pondo or nagkaroon talaga ng systematic na scam doon sa budget. So that's, for example, in this case, the flood control. So yung budget insertions per se, ginagawa naman talaga yan ng Congress at saka ng Senate before pa, noon pa. Kasi they need the budget insertions kasi for their political motives. For example, para gusto meron silang project and it will be done in their name and it will be known to the public kasi kailangan nila yan sa mga botante nila.
That's true.
Yeah.
Isa nga sa mga pinag-uusapan itong nung nasa House of Representatives pa lang, yung pondo galing sa NEP, no? So, nasa House of Representatives, 800 billion. Tapos, nung dumunta sa Senado, nadagdaga para nabawasan ng something. Then, nag-BICAM, umabot ng 1 trillion.
Dahil ito lang yung nakakalungkot
Okay.
dito, na yung separation of powers between the executive and the legislative, where the legislative serves as a check to the executive, ay nagkaroon na ng pag nag-fuse na silang dalawa, nawawala na yung check and balance. Diyan na ito ang nangyari precisely dito sa budget na to, so to speak. Kasi yung paggawa ng GAA is a legislative endeavor. It is a legislative power. But the execution, the release of funds and everything comes within the purview of the power of the executive. Now, pag nag-fuse na ng dalawa, wala nang check and balance, talagang kawawang mamamayan dyan.
Alright. Okay. Anyway, balikan lang natin itong pinag-usaping Zaldy ko. Isa sa mga umuugong at so far, or by far, pinakamaingay na usapin. When he started talking disclosing issues on his social media. How do you think should these investigators evaluate cause or Zaldy cause statements, given that he is both an insider and a controversial figure?
Yes, Cub, how will we take yung mga allegations ni former Congressman?
Sige, kunyari na lang, isa ka sa mga investigador.
Always.
Sige, hypothetically, you're one of the investigators.
If I'm one of the investigators, Cub, I will require the former congressman to appear. Kailangan kasi mai-under oath niya yung kanyang mga allegation. At the same time, kailangan yung mga evidence niya, kailangan i-submit niya for evaluation and for appropriate na assessment. And now, again, it will boil down. Yung kanyang evidence at saka yung kanyang pag-under oath will masusustain yung kanyang credibility. Kasi especially kung meron pa siyang corroborative evidence, especially on the fact na meron siyang knowledge dun sa mga matters na sinasabi niya. Kasi being a former chairman ng Appropriations Committee, meron siyang credibility on that part. Pero papasok dito yung pangalawang aspeto pa, which is kailangan yung corroborative evidence.
Yes.
And at the same time,
kailangan i-corroborate yung sinasabi niya
Precisely.
na Secretary Pangandaman at ni Undersecretary Adrian at saka ni Representative Speaker Martin Romualdez. Lalo na yung sinasabi niya na doon sa Aguado Building, nag-meeting sila after like days na tinawagan siya ni Secretary Pangandaman. At doon ibinigay sa kanya yung list na galing di umano kay Presidente Bongbong Marcos na ibinigay sa kanya ni Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin. So, yun ang kakulangan doon. Pag yun na-corroborate at nag-cooperate sina Pangandaman, which ay...
mas lalong titibay ang kanya mga statements kung mangyayari yun. But anyway, with all these revelations, could this be something that will trigger a constitutional crisis if the Blue Ribbon Committee's investigation leads directly to the President?
Well, when you speak of constitutional crisis, it means, usually in our history, it means na hindi nire-recognize ng isang
We
department.
went outside the loop of the
ng isang branch,
Constitution.
ng isang branch ng government like legislative or executive or the judiciary, yung isang branch ng government. Pangalawa, nangyayari itong constitutional crisis kapag yung example, yung presidente who cannot perform or cannot perform his duty anymore because of external or internal factors. Yun yung mga instances na nagkakaroon ng constitutional crisis sa Pilipinas based on our history. So, in this case, magkakaroon ba tayo ng constitutional crisis? I don't think so. Kasi with the actions taken by the president and the executive, and also, nire-recognize naman nila. And I think there is a coordination between the executive and the Senate as regards the investigation that is being done by the Blue Ribbon Committee.
Kung ang investigation talaga would lead to the president, then the Congress should impeach him kung kinakailangan. Yun lang yun. And our Constitution provides for that and we have laws for that. And so, walang constitutional crisis dyan.
Malinaw naman na merong batas na
May process naman para
dapat
dyan.
susugan.
Yes, sir.
Oo. Batay doon sa mga pangyayari.
Yes, sir.
Para maging basihan. Anyway, suspended muna itong session natin. Ha?
Ganun ba?
At dahil sa ating pagbabalik, another shockwave hits the center of power. And this time, it comes from within the first family itself. Senator Imee Marcos has publicly raised concerns about her brother, President Marcos, igniting questions about leadership, capacity, and the state of governance at the highest level. Saan patutungo ang usaping ito? Yan ang ating tatalakayin sa ating pagbabalik sa The PH Insider on TV.
Lotto fans, para sa tsansang maging Lotto Milyonaryo, 20 pesos lang per combination ang kailangan sa original Lotto game ng bayan, ang Lotto 642. Pumunta lang sa nearest Lotto outlet, kumuha ng Lotto 642 playslip at pumili ng 6 numbers from 1 to 42. Undecided sa mga numerong mamarkahan, guhita ng LP or Lucky Pick para Lotto Terminal na ang pipili ng 6 numbers para sa'yo. Gusto mo ng tuloy-tuloy na laro? Pwede kang sumali up to 6 consecutive draws. Markahan lang ang number of draws na naisalihan sa kaliwang bahagi ng game panel. More chances of winning naman ang hatid ng system plays ng Lotto 642. System 5 roll kung saan pipili ka ng 5 numbers habang computer nang bahala sa pang-anim na numero. May System 7 to 12 options din para sa mas exciting combinations. Magkano ba ang mga papremyo sa Lotto 642? 5.9 million pesos ang minimum jackpot prize na pwedeng maiuwi mo. Net of the Agent's Prize Commission na yan. At kung hindi man tumama ang 6 na numero, don't worry, sure ball na ma-enjoy pa rin ang consolation prizes pag nag-match ang iyong 3 to 5 winning number combination. 5 numbers ang nakuha, congratulations dahil 24,000 pesos ang papremyo niyan. At kung 4 numbers mo ang nag-match sa mga nanalong numero, 800 pesos ang take-home prize. At 20 pesos naman ang instant panalo sakaling nakatatlong nanalong numero kayo. Para mas enjoy ang paglalaro, tune in every 9 p.m. sa PCSO Lottery Draw sa IBC 13, DATV at official live streaming channels ng PCSO. Huwag nang palampasin ang tsansa. Kick it by na sa Lotto outlet near you. Who knows? Baka ikaw na ang susunod na Lotto Milyonaryo. Kaya araw-araw, let's play Lotto!
We're back with a program that takes a closer look at every angle of the nation's most pressing issues, always examined in the perspective of the law. This is the PH Insider on TV. Tonight, a shock comes from inside the first family itself. Senator Imee Marcos, the president's own sister, has made a claim that raises urgent questions about leadership, stability, and transparency at the highest level. In a government already shaken by resignations and controversies, Her statement adds a new layer of uncertainty that the nation cannot ignore. What does this mean for governance, for public trust, and for a presidency already under pressure? Tonight, we'll look into the implications of Senator Imee's revelation and why it matters now more than ever. Talking about constitutional and executive capacity, the very first thing that we need to talk about is, under the Constitution, what legal standards determine whether a sitting president is mentally or physically capable of fulfilling the duties of the office. Who want to go first? Okay, you do the honors. Come on, Eugene. Sige.
Under the Constitution, it is presumed na mayroong legal at saka legal capacity yung presidente to assume the office. However, during the impeachment process, it is incumbent upon the prosecution to show na wala siyang wala siyang capacity, or legal capacity, or mental capacity to perform his duties. So, nangyayari lahat yan sa impeachment court. Now, these remarks made by the Senator Imee Marcos, legally, she's doing it as part ng kanyang freedom of expression. Well, politically, mayroong issue diyan kasi there's a family matter involved. Okay. Based on our customs, traditions, as a Filipino, the Filipino people are taking this seriously, considering na on the side of Senator Imee Marcos, they're saying na those personal matters within the family should not be broadcasted in public. And on the other hand, it was taken as politically, it appears that Senator Imee Marcos is doing that for political leverage.
Okay.
Well, yung sinabi ni Senator Imee Marcos with regards to the fitness, yung issue na yan, drug abuse,
or substance use.
Substance use goes into the very issue of the fitness of the president to govern. That's why the knowledge of it should come out to the public, whether or not it is true. And therefore, the president, to my mind, has the duty and responsibility to cast away the doubts with regards to his fitness to govern the Republic of the Philippines, especially so that he is also the Commander-in-Chief of the AFP. So, pati yung national security natin ay being, it could be undermined or it could be in question. Now, we can control for all we want, all the media, national media narratives or whatever, but then the international community is watching us. Mm-hmm. And it has an impact on our economy and the way the international community treats the Philippines insofar as these issues are concerned. Mm-hmm. So, para sa akin, whether or not, we presume that the president is sane and of course, hindi siya nag-abuse ng drug. That's the presumption. But then again, hindi naman tayo nasa korte na kailangan natin bawal i-compel yung president. We're trying to battle a public persuasion, the public projection na tama ang administrasyon na to stay strong with the administration because the president is healthy, of sane mind, and is not compromised by any allegations of drug addiction or whatever. So, yun lang masasabi ko dyan.
All right, with all these very sensitive allegations concerning the president's alleged involvement in substance use and drug abuse, as it was alleged by the presidential sister, does the Constitution then or any law require transparency regarding the president's health or mental fitness or medical condition?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. We have the right to know the physical condition. That's why when it comes to the inability, even just the incapacity, temporary incapacity of the president, he has to write to the Senate President and the House of Representatives of his inability Isa yan sa process. And then the Congress will now institute temporarily, if not permanent, depende sa inability niya, disability niya, kung permanent o hindi, yung Vice President. That's in the Constitution, hindi natin ma-avoid yan. Or, in case na hindi kaya ng Presidente i-inform personally or in writing yung Senate President or the Speaker of the House, the Congress shall enact a resolution, joint resolution, by way of 2/3 vote, para i-declare the President is incapable or incapacitated or temporarily incapacitated to discharge his duties as President. So, yan ang mga parameters na provided ng Constitution when it comes to succession.
Okay. Well, talking about temporary incapacity, how does the Constitution define temporary incapacity, and what procedures exist if there is a question about the president's ability to perform duties?
Well, Cubs, the presumption is a person is incapacity. So, the medical conditions of the mental incapacity is actually the exception. So, the incapacity is, so, as of now, there's a presumption na may capacity yung presidente to mental and legally. However, it is incumbent upon those who are claiming na wala siyang capacity to produce evidence na, especially in an impeachment court, kung talagang wala na siyang kakayahan na mag-rule on that. Now, legally speaking, Cubs, nagiging legal lang itong issue na to because of the narration or remarks of Senator Imee Marcos doon sa alleged drug use. Legally, it is wala pa namang charges, walang investigation on that part. Kasi it was done as a remark during a rally by Senator Imee Marcos. So walang investigation na nangyari.
Yes.
Politically, it is being used in circle, usually, regularly by the opposition to put a bad repute on the part of the president, his alleged drug use.
Right, Caballero. But then my point is, these allegations done in public during the rally by a family member has an impact to the people.
By the presidential sister herself.
Yes, especially that there has already been some hush whispers about alleged drug addiction of the first family. What's keeping the president? My question is, what's keeping the president to prove them wrong? By submitting to a hair follicle test or whatever independent drug test in order to cast out the doubt of his leadership, of his presidency, of his capability to govern. That's my question.
Well, in consonance to that, let us just then try to entertain this question about the presidential incapacity as to who has then the legal authority to declare his incapacity, rather, and what evidentiary standard is required.
Well, sinabi ko na kanina,
Yeah,
pag hindi nagsalita yung presidente sa incapacity niya, it should be the 2/3 vote on a joint resolution by the Congress. It has the authority to declare him incapable or temporarily incapable. That's it.
You wanna add?
Yes.
Sige.
yung mga ganyang...
Parang natatawa ka doon, Cab, sa...
This is about...
sa pagpuprove ng incapacity.
There's a legal...
Sige.
There's a legal implication on that
okay.
statement, Cubs. So, the drug use, the alleged drug use of the president is a legal basis for... because of culpable violation of the law. Pwede na rin sabihin natin Constitution, which is a ground for impeachment. So, in relation to kung yan ang magiging ground, yung alleged, yung remark ni Senator Imee for impeachment, then it should be. But the process as provided under the Constitution should be followed, which is there should be an impeachment process.
Well, anyway, kanina balikan ko lang yung nabanggit ni Cab Zandro tungkol doon sa hair follicle test. It's a medical procedure. You being also a medical practitioner and a lawyer at the same time. Well, I think it's one of the best possible ways for the president to at least prove other people wrong,
Yeah.
one way or another.
Precisely.
But the question there is, where is the line between the president's right, with the president's right, rather, to medical privacy and the public's right to know?
Well, Cubs, that's a political
Yes.
question, actually. The law, the Constitution, has no requirement na i-require mo yung presidente, oy, kailangan magpa-drug test ka. There's no requirement as to that. So, but by means of...
It's something that's supposed to be voluntary.
Yeah, it should be voluntary, yeah.
In his own volition.
Okay, kailangan may consent niya. Kailangan. But there are other ways, many ways of removing a president. One is impeachment, and the other one is through resignation. So, this becomes a political question, Carl. So, baka due to political or example, intense clamor, mag-give way yung presidente. So, it depends kung magkakaroon ng intensive na clamor na mag-step down siya, which, based on our history, nangyari na before.
Alam sa akin na lang, prove them wrong. Give them the independent drug test result that you are clean. Yun lang yun. Kasi hindi naman tayo nag-uusap dito sa court eh. Ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, to inform the public, to assure the public that the president is not as what was alleged by his presidential sister. Yun lang yun.
All right. Another question, a crucial question to ask, if we touch on Senator Imee Marcos's revelation, so to speak, no? Could Senator Imee Marcos then, Marcos's public statement carry legal implications, such as defamation, ethical questions, or breach of confidentiality? Or is she protected by a parliamentary immunity?
Well, it's not.
When it comes to
parliamentary immunity, is only given to those statements made during the session nila sa Senate.
Okay.
But
statements,
itong statements, social media, rally,
expressed during rallies,
it's not protected by the parliamentary immunity, but it is protected by yung ating
freedom of
speech, constitutional, as part of our constitutional rights.
Okay. All right.
Tama naman yun. Pero kung hahabla siya ng libel, sasabihin lang niya in defense na I was just telling the truth. And the only way for us to find out the truth is to subject himself to the political test.
Okay.
Babalik din tayo doon eh.
Okay. Okay. And one more thing. Could this revelation trigger formal inquiries inside the Senate, House, or judicial bodies, even without a direct complaint? Magpo-prosper ba yan?
Well, I doubt, kasi the Senate has many jobs na already. So, to conduct a parliamentary legislative inquiry on whether the president uses drugs or not, that's highly politically charged. And also knowing na busy, marami ng trabaho yung Senate sa Senado in their conduct of investigations, and likewise alam na rin ng public na marami ding political allies ang presidente sa Senate. So the statement na baka magkaroon ba ng legislative inquiry regarding...
Hindi yan papayagan ng presidente.
No,
Kasi makaka-add lang yan ng fire doon sa...
It is doubtful, yeah.
All right. Anyway, there are three major or sensitive issues dealt with in today's episode. Number one, the simultaneous resignation of Executive Secretary Bersamin, the resignation of former Budget Secretary Mina Pangandaman, and the PLLO Undersecretary Adrian Bersamin. Well, maraming pinakakahulugan ang ginawa nilang hakbang, pero mas makakaigi siguro para sa taong bayan na nananatiling nagtatanong kung ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin nitong mga resignations na to. Nauna ng pinabulaanan at sinabing hindi nga sila nag-resign, specifically or particularly Executive Secretary Bersamin, bagamat siya po'y pinaalis sa pwesto. The second issue was about Zaldy's revelation, and I think it is high time for him to go home. Nandito naman ang kanyang tahanan, bumalik sa Pilipinas, at patunayan, o mga dapat patunayan, pasinungalingan ng mga dapat niyang pasinungalingan.
Right.
Now, the third issue is Imee Marcos' statement during the rally. I think ito'y napakasensitibong bagay. It's so sensitive that has to be proven, kailangan patunayan, and sa tamang proseso. Well, ang panawagan ng taong bayan ay paglilinaw sa likuran nitong mga kontrobersyang kinakaharap at bumabalot sa ating lipunan. Tonight, the cracks can no longer be ignored. The resignations of Budget Secretary Pangandaman and Executive Secretary Bersamin. The explosive claims of Zaldy linking the President and Speaker to billion-peso budget insertions. And Senator Imee Marcos' own revelation questioning her brother's capacity. These are not isolated events. They form a single picture. A government under strain, institutions pushed to the edge, and a system struggling to hold its credibility. The Senate is probing the flood control scandal. The ICC is watching governance failures. Whistleblowers are coming forward, and some are running for safety. Meanwhile, the public is telling the truth, and who still is in control. If the allegations are false, the nation deserves clarity. If they are true, the nation deserves justice. This moment demands transparency, courage, and real accountability, because truth is knocking, and the system is running out of places to hide. Magandang gabi. Ako po si Ox Balyado at siyempre kasama pa rin ang mga attorney ng bayan.
Attorney Lisandro Unay, magandang gabi.
Attorney Eugene Riego, magandang gabi po.
Hanggang sa muli nating paghihimay-himay ng mga balitang may pakialam ka. No spin, no bias, just the law. This is the PH Insider on TV.